Welcome everybody to this interview part 4 with the Finnish dream team Talisman and TüME. Hello guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello guys, thank you very much for joining this interview. Well, let us start with the overall question. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do for a living? Are you still at school? Are you working? And as well, do you have any other hobbies or do you play any other games?
Talisman can start.
Okay. So I'm studying at the moment, and on top of that I'm playing Overwatch semi-professionally, which is pretty much like all the time I can do. I usually don't even have time to play competitors too nowadays, but I got a free day for the tournament, so that's why I'm joining in.
That's cool, yeah. So, Talisman, you're playing a lot of Overwatch. You are a pro player, right? You are Europe's one of the best teams in Europe, I've heard.
Yeah, well, there's like a big change of players now, so we don't have a complete roster at the moment, but yeah, I'm playing for Helsinki Reds at the moment as a main support.
Okay. What do you like especially about Overwatch? Is there any particular reason you like to play that game?
I think it's the arena style of FPS, which is like there's projectiles like rockets and stuff. You don't like have to stay still to shoot, so you're constantly like trying to dodge and move and do stuff with that, which is why I like that type of game.
I'm not so much of a big FPS player, but it would really interest me to ask an Overwatch pro player. In a way, where's the big difference between Overwatch and Counter-Strike? Is there a big difference skill-wise, or is it just that would interest me?
Well, I think in Counter-Strike you are focusing more on like micro aim, like being really consistent, like shooting heads and stuff like that. Of course, that's a part of Overwatch too, but since like you're probably not gonna move in Counter-Strike, since you need to stay still to get a good shot. So you need to like work on your reaction times. And Counter-Strike is a tactical game, so you're like most of the time you're not gonna shoot anybody. You're just like waiting, seeing what the enemy team is doing, trying to poke out map, get map control. While Overwatch is really like fast-paced. The movement is a big part. You need to learn how to move in the game. The communications can get really chaotic since there's so much going on. So you need to have a really good view of the game. You need to understand instantly like what's going on around me.
Okay, interesting. I never was much of a Overwatch player, so it just interests me. And what are you studying?
I study IT stuff like with computers. Probably not gonna be my job ever.
A lot of people in Co2 are studying IT. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really. Okay, TüME, what about you?
Well, I don't really. How would I say?
No, just take your time. You have time. Well, let's start about what are you working or are you still in school?
I'm studying at the moment, like engineering. I'm not sure how you say it, but HVCA engineering, like the plumbing.
Oh, plumbing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm studying that, and well, I'm not properly gonna study this till the end. I'm curious about chasing in the business side in the future, but by that far I studied that, and I play quite various of games. I don't really I'm not like Talisman focusing one game. Of course, Company of Heroes was my main focus previously, but I think the game has become a little bit boring. We don't really get new content in the game, so I don't care to spend that much time on Company of Heroes now as before. I just hope they change the game somewhat. They bring new commanders, something like which gives like new joy in the game. So nowadays I usually play Heroes of the Storm. It's a MOBA game. It's kind of like League of Legends or Dota, and also the Player Unknown. I play those games in my spare time, and then time to time I play Company of Heroes, especially if I'm streaming, then I usually just play Company of Heroes. But I'm not like, I'm not gonna take gaming to any level. I mean, I'm as good as I'm in Company of Heroes, and that's all. I'm not gonna like focus other games that much anymore. So they are just like casual games I'm playing usually.
Okay. Do you agree the opinion from people that games like Dota, Heroes of the Storm, or League of Legends are skill-wise harder to play than RTS games as KO2?
Not really. I mean, no, I could say they are like skill-wise, because in Company of Heroes you need so much like movement speed, micro, and usually in RTS you need so much like your micro and macro has to be so high if you want to be like successful in the game, and also the game knowledge have to be really good. But in I've been playing like a little bit Dota, more on Heroes of the Storm. In both of the games, the game knowledge is like the main thing. You have to know like which build you made your heroes. It's not so much on your like. In the end, when you throw all your spells or anything what you strike your enemy, it's just fucking pressing your buttons. That's all. So I don't think in skill-wise, I think RTS games require more skill than MOBA games. MOBA games just needs the game knowledge really much to compete.
Okay, interesting. Okay, let's talk about the 2v2 game mode. How do you like the balance at the meta right now of the 2v2 game mode? My opinion is that it's the best game mode at the moment in KO2, skill-wise and everything. Would you agree? Yes or no? Up to you. Who wants to answer?
I totally agree that it's the best game mode.
No, I'm a 1v1 guy myself.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting.
that's been like my thing. 2v2 has its plus things, like you're always gonna play with a friend, so that's nice. But I don't really like 2v2 that much that I would like play solo queue, so I would get like random allies.
Okay.
Yeah, well, not in that case. Like, I don't really mind about the solo queuing in 2 vs 2 or in any team game mode. Like, you can't really ever like in any game you can't really, if you don't play with the team or with friends, which you can communicate all the time, and you have played with them before, you know what they do. That's in any game. Like, you can't really expect that high quality. But when it comes into the teams, I think in 2 vs 2 is really like high skill gap between the top teams than top players in 2 vs 2. So I think like 2 best players in 1 vs 1 can't beat 2 best. One best 2 vs 2 team in 2 vs 2.
Yeah, I think the thing, like, I think 1 versus 1, it focuses on completely different thing. Like, map control is so much different in 2 vs 2 than 1 versus 1, and you need to constantly like have forces everywhere on the map. Like 2 versus 2, I feel like more than often the fight goes into like one place, like a choke point or like a VP. So you need to have like a really good micro into one fight, but you rarely have like 3 or 4 places to fight in. You need to watch out. So I think that's the difference between 1v1 and 2v2 skill.
Yeah, I think that's very true, and mainly because Talisman's 1v1 experience, not that much mine, but we won many games. Like we were like totally losing the game, but we have won the game with the victory points because the map control. So we focus on the map control. We don't really like bring our 5 walk squad in the one place to try to push to enemy base, but we just go in the victory points and we stay in the victory points. Like we don't need to push to enemy.
Hello, Jimmy?
Your mic cut off.
Jimmy, you're muted yourself. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now. Sorry.
No
worries.
I wonder where did cut.
Just say your last sentence.
Okay, but I think we play like the way we play. We usually just get the map control and we stay there. We have no need to push at one choke point to the like for the enemy base, which many 2 vs 2 players try to do, which is brainless because you don't need to do that. You just need to get your victory points, and that's how we have win many of our games. Even we are losing the game, we won with the control and the victory points.
Okay, so yeah, I would say that I wouldn't say they're like 2 worlds, but I mean I've interviewed now a lot of players and like a lot of like 1v1 style really good pro players, and a lot of pro players are saying 1v1 players are saying that 1v1 is still the best game mode. Yeah, I'm not much of a 1v1 player. For me, it's just too stressful. I cannot enjoy I kind of really enjoy a 1v1. So 2v2 is for me personally the best game mode. But everybody has their own opinion there. But I think what we all can agree is 2v2 is from the team game team game modes is the best one. Sadly, there has been never any 4 vs 4, 3 vs 3, or any competitive scene. So 2v2, 2 vs 2, 1v1 are the only competitive game modes in this game. I think that we can agree, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's everybody's personal opinion. I like 1 vs 1 also, but like I think 1 vs 1 and 2 vs 2, they are both as enjoyable to watch as a viewer, and they are also enjoyable to play. I think 2 vs 2 is a little bit less stressful, like during the game, than 1 vs 1. But other than that, I think they're pretty equal. But like for example, we had was it year ago, we had the Masa tournament where we had all the game modes, 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2, till the 4 vs 4, and I really enjoyed that game mode. I mean, I think in that game mode, it really requires for a player to play like in every game mode and every situation, and I think that was really successful tournament, and I find that kind of tournament should be more.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's move forward. I really don't know so much about you guys. I mean, I know you both, but as a 2 versus 2 team, so it would really interest me. What are your favorite factions in 2v2? Do you have a certain favorite commander you absolutely like to play? Tell us a little bit about your gameplay wise. Are you more the kind of aggressive player like Devon, or are you more the defensive player, supporting player, whatever? So tell us a little bit about your gameplay wise.
I think Talisman can start.
I think we play like how TüME said it earlier. We have like more about map control than just winning the fights. And I think that that comes down a little bit to like my Soviet gameplay, like foregone build. So I usually like if I keep like one con on a victory point and they get forced off, I still have 3 cons on the map, like trying to win other fights. And that's how I feel like we win a lot because we split the enemy's focus, and if they like try to blob, they only force back like one squad, and then they have to get to the another, then get to the another.
Yeah, I think our like the main reason why we are so good together that we really work well together. Like if we agree something during the game, like we have to counter something, we have to destroy something, we have to do something, we do it. Like it's not like either one of us comes like no, don't do it, like no, that's not good idea. But we focus on that target we want to do. And I think Talisman is a little bit more aggressive than I am. I mean, we have many time fights like Talisman has like, oh, let's go for those like Stukas, for example, and then I'm like, okay, let's go soon, and then I notice, oh shit, his tanks are already going there. Then I have to go after him. But yeah, I think I'm the little bit more passive player, and Talisman is the more aggressive.
I think that's actually like it works out for us, because I feel like I usually like I get a lot of flanks going on and put the pressure on the enemy, and then I'm still like safe to go back when I retreat, because TüME has forces behind me and it's ready to help. So it's never gonna be like that we both push out at the same time and then we have to retreat everything, take it the whole map. We always have like something defending or helping out other. So I think it works out that one of us is more aggressive, one is more passive.
Yeah, and I think our gameplay is really, how would you say it, like non-selfish, because like if I'm playing like Ost here and Talisman needs medic, I build him the medic. He can do his build what he wants. If he's playing Soviet, he drops me fuel if I need fuel. Like it's really like we think like both of us. Like it's not like we're thinking ourselves on the game. We think all the time the both of us during the game.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Have you played a lot of 2v2s together? I mean, tournament-wise?
Yeah, we have
Few.
few.
Okay.
Like I mean, there haven't come too much tournaments after we started to play with Talisman like a year and a half ago. So there haven't been too much. One tournament Talisman went to play with Hans, and I was really upset about that one. But I forgave him.
Yeah, that was my last tournament, 2v2, the strategic one. I can remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm super hyped that you guys are playing in the tournament. Okay. Do I have any questions about what we just heard? Let me just think. No, I'm really exciting about you two are playing in the tournament. So let's just come back to the. Well, let's just come back. Let's just go to the map pool and commander bands. I have sent it to you. So we have the commander bands. No, let's go to the map pool first. Sorry, map pool. So we have Minsk Pocket, Res and Metal, Vox Farmlands, Elst Outskirts, Crossing in the Woods, Hamlet, Zimmersky Winter, and Moscow Outskirts Summer. Is there any map you would say like this is your favorite map, or is there a map you would say no, we hate this map so much?
Well, I think we shouldn't say here in public what we like the map, but I guess it's not too serious. So
It's up to you guys.
Sure I think
Captain
we can
Price
say.
didn't want to say us like it's absolutely up to you what you want to say here. Captain Price didn't want to say what factions he likes, so no worries. If you don't want to answer that, you don't have to.
Yeah, I think we can say. I think for both of us, Rails and Metal is the #1 map. I'm pretty sure it's for Talisman too.
Yeah, I think so. I think like Moscow outskirts, that's not necessarily like a bad map for us. Like we can play it, but it's fairly unbalanced. So I think we are like trying to avoid to play that.
Sorry, what map did you say?
Moscow outskirts.
Moscow outskirts summer. Yeah, that's north. Yeah, the big trouble is the north side. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know what the reason for north of the Moscow really is the problem, because I don't really know. I'm trying to figure out what makes it hard, but I know that every time when I go play north of Moscow, it's really hard to play. I don't know really
it's the cutoff.
what's
I think,
the reason.
isn't it? The cutoff is
Yeah,
easy to attack.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I guess that's the
Also like the cover, like South player has a lot of green cover around their like cutoffs and base and so on, while North doesn't have like that great. Like if you want to play from green cover, you need to give up the points. They're placed in that way.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, so Moscow outskirts summer. What do you think about Hamlet?
Well, Hamlet is okay-ish map, but definitely not my favorite.
Because every team I interviewed right now everybody said Hamlet is the worst map.
I think I like the map otherwise, but like especially against OKW, the forest to the right of the map, like that is so impossible to get against like STG, Volksas, Tumpainers and so on.
Yeah, it's a close range.
Yeah.
Close range.
Also, I think on the left side, the house where usually bottom side, the OKW tries to rush the house after the bridge. I think that house should be just removed. Like it's annoying. Like how you really have to try to get the house. So because if your opponent gets good point there, it's really hard to push from the top. I mean, it's not possible. I'm not saying that, but it's like too hard for the early game to push the house back for yourself. So I kind of think that house should just be removed or moved like so far away from the bridge.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's like 1 sec, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that was the map pool. Let's talk about the.
Can also
Yep.
speak on behalf of the Vaux Farmlands. That's another pretty good map. It has some like stupid points where enemy team or your team can rush, like some houses in that map. But other than that, I think Farmlands is really good map, and also the fences. Just fucking remove the fences. Like they're like pointless. Like you have to drive them over with the Kubo or some light vehicle, so you are like your pathing is like correct. But other than those small things, I think Farmlands is one really good map to play. Also, in Farmlands you can dig in. You can also play like wide if you like to flank with the tanks, and there is a lot of shot covers if there is like elephant or yak tiger on the field. So you. It's not like some big tank can shoot you in the open many times because you can hide. So I think Farmlands is other pretty good maps with the rails and metal.
Talisman, would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Like the only thing I think in Fox is the bottom victory point house. I think that's a little bit stupid because you can rush it while the north victory point doesn't have any good house.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Vox Farmlands is a good map, I would say. I think we will see a lot of Vox Farmlands. We will see a lot of rails and metal, definitely. We will see maybe Minsk Pocket as well. That's a good map. I mean, it's
Yeah, definitely.
Theodosius. I think Theodosius was saying kind of it's so narrow he doesn't like it. It's like playing Dota. Um, so, but I think we will see that kind of thing. One of my favorite 2v2 maps is Elst Outskirts. I like that map as well. I think that there's really no side in any favor, so I think that's as well good. Yeah, I think we will. I don't think we will see a lot of Hamlet. I'm pretty sure that many people will vote that one. Moscow Outskirts Summer, I think, as well. Not so very popular. Yeah, then we only have Crossing in the Woods, which is a very, very small map in a way. So, yeah, maybe we will see
I think
Crossing in the Woods as
Crossing the
well.
Woods is like best 1 versus 1 map, but in 2 versus 2 it's not the best one because you can like place your mortar placements, you can have your rocket artillery pretty safe shooting all the way from other side the map. So in 2 versus 2 it's not the best map, but in 1 versus 1 I think it's the best map.
Okay. Yeah. I played a lot of games in Crossing in the Woods. I've lost a couple of games. I won a couple of games. I mean, yeah. I would say Crossing in the Woods is okay-ish from my point of view, but there are better 2v2 maps. I would absolutely agree on that. Okay, let's talk about the commander bans. So we have Soviet land lease, we have defensive tactics, we have counter-attack tactics, tactical support from USF. Oh, I will just say why. And sorry, I forgot that. So land lease is because of M4C Shermans and Dushkas, of course. Defensive tactics, of course, as well. Because of the Dushka, counter-attack tactics is because of the for Mother Russia. Tactical support, basically because of the Calliope. Breakthrough is very strong because of the Yak Tiger. And Theodosius said last interview, he said, and as well the Panzer Fusiliers are so overpowered in his opinion. Then we have Special Operations Doctrine, which is the not the Yak Panther, I always say Yak Panther for some reason, Command Panther. We have the Command Panther. Then we have Lightning Board Doctrine, which is Oster, because of the Tiger and the Stuka Close Air Support. We have Jaeger Armor Doctrine because of the Elephant combination and the Stuka Dive Bomb, which is a very strong combination. We have Advanced Emplacement Regiment. I would say this is a commander that is just bad in my opinion. I just don't like it a lot. We have Special Weapons Regiment because of the fear of the penal blobs with Vickers. That's the only reason why we're banning this commander, because we're just having a fear that like this is coming a matter for allies, so we don't want that. And then we have the Royal Artillery Regiment, mostly because of the 4CP arti-strike of the Brits, which is called Concentration Barrage, which just can fire in the fog of war, so you don't need sight. Yeah, those are the commander bans. What are your thoughts about that?
Some commanders I don't totally agree, like the counter-attack tactics. Like it has the Mother Russia, but I don't see. I mean, it's really like could say OP if you combine like combo with the special weapons regiment, so you get the penals with the Vickers, and then you use the Mother Russia. They are like unbeatable unit. But first of all, it's quite expensive to use the munition. I think it's 120. So I think it's kinda expensive. So you can't really spam it. So I don't really agree with that one. I agree with the other Soviet bans like the Lend-Lease and defensive tactics because we are playing like the mixed faction. If it was like there is double OKW, then I wouldn't agree with the Dushka ban because sometimes the OKW blobs are really hard to deal with the Soviet. So if there was double OKW, then I wouldn't agree with those. But since it's Ost here, other faction, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with every single one of those. I don't know, I usually don't think too much about commanders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, like if it's like finals and stuff like that is usually commander, but I would say every faction has enough stuff without even playing commander.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just play the base faction and the commander is just a plus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think OKW bans are pretty much okay. Though I think Command Punter did get nerfed, so well, I guess it's necessary still done it, but okay. But the Lightning War one is like I'm kinda surprised about it because there is better commander than Lightning War in 2 vs 2, and it's the Blitzkrieg commander where you get the Recon Command Panzer and the Stuka Strike. Because I don't Tiger, it's not 2 vs 2 tank. It definitely isn't. You can like in 2 vs 2 for Ost here, the Korea tanks are much better than the call-in tanks, except the Elephant, of course. And Jaeger armor I can totally understand because it has so many counters in one commander. It has the Stuka bomb, it has Recon, it has also Elephant. So it's definitely good that the other one is still open and this one is banned.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that we banned the Jaeger armor doctrine is a good decision. I would absolutely defend that. I still have. I mean, the Lightning War is not because of the Tiger. I would agree that the Tiger is absolutely not a very OP tank. I like to play it a lot, but you need a lot of skill to really vet it up, as every heavy tank, in my opinion, in this game. But it's just I think it's the combination of Tiger and Stuka class air support, which is in my opinion, and then you have the G43s. You have as well the that your infantry runs faster, move fast, or something is called. I would say the Lightning War is a strong Auster commander, but yeah, I mean we can. We're still in a discussion process, but rather soon we have to decide what commanders we are going to ban. So at the moment, this is a list of commander bans. Maybe me and Hooligan we are having a meeting before the tournament starts, or right a little bit before the tournament starts. Maybe we will change something, but at the moment this is the commander bans. What would you say about your opinion that we should ban the land mattress? There was a lot of discussions about that.
Yeah, I don't. So after the nerfs, I don't. I mean, I think many people will use the land mattress because they still are in the belief that it's really strong, but I think the nerfs hurt like quite much the land mattress. I think the hugest like the nerf was how easily you can destroy it now.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big loss for the UKF player, especially if you lose, for example, your first land mattress because some tanks rushes it and destroys it. So I don't think it's ban worthy. The commander really doesn't have anything that good. Like you can always play UKF Soviet, so if you need flamethrowers, Soviet can get the flamethrowers. So I don't really think that's the worthy ban. But in the Lightning War, honestly, I wouldn't in that commander even use the Tiger. The other abilities are really good to use, especially this double OKW meta in the ladders. But the Tiger itself, it's in the small maps and urban maps. In the open maps, it's useless to take Tiger. You get like Fireflies and Jacksons will like you have no chance against them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But about the Brits, can I continue or are we still?
No, please.
Okay, so about the Brits these bans. Okay, I understand this advanced emplacement because it's kinda like abusable commander. You can really abuse that. But like, for example, I don't abuse the commander. I just because usually when the OKW players they go on the Med HQ, they will you see too much the ISG, and it's sometimes it's really hard to deal for UKF, especially if you have built the mortar pit, because that's kind of hard to deal with. So it has the good ability to counter Barrage, and I don't think that ability is OP, even it's like kind of uncounterable. I don't think it's still OP. It doesn't like, usually it doesn't one-shot any ISGs, but it like prevents them from shooting your mortar pit. So if like everybody plays with like good mentality in this game that they don't try to abuse, then it would be okay commander, but it's definitely people try to abuse the commander. And special weapons, yeah, I understand there is also the, I think it's abuse also that you drop like double vigors for like penals who use the counter attack. Yeah, I think it's abuse, but if that's other commander, if people don't abuse, it would be okay. And the Royal Artillery Regiment, yeah, I totally agree with that. It has the artillery is really good.
Yeah, Talisman, you're so quiet.
Yeah, the land mattress commander.
Yeah.
I think it's fine, to be honest. Like, you don't see it too much in 2v2 at least, sometimes in 1v1. And yeah, it is pretty much because the land mattress is so slow and easily counterable, like you need to walk it out close to the combat to actually shoot because the range is so small. So I think, I don't think it should be banned.
Okay, good. Any other comments, Talisman, to the other commanders?
Well, not really, just about the Royal Artillery Regiment. Also, the it has the wall hack, not wall hack, map hack flare thingy, which works on like half of the maps only for some reason. So I don't know what's going on with that. Other than that, I like those bands.
Okay,
They're
good. Awesome. Really good. Okay, good. So I would like to ask you how important is communication when you play together? Is first of all, are you using comms during a game? Like, are you using TeamSpeak or Discord? Or any other voice comm?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
We wouldn't play without using them.
Okay, okay.
Because we
Are
use
you...
not only the communication, but we talk so much shit there. So yeah, it would be boring to play without hearing Talisman.
Well, Talisman, you have played a lot of Hans, so you know how Hans is in playing together. Are you you're more of a calm person, I would say, if I may say so. Are you talking much during that game? Are you talking much, or are you just like you know, Hans is like a person who always wants communication? Are you different? I guess you're different. I guess you're like me. Like yeah, whatever. What is your opinion about that?
I mean, to a degree, like it's also the thing with communication is the more you play with somebody, the less you need communication because you realize, oh, he's gonna do this thing, so
okay.
I'm gonna do that, and it like comes naturally. So the more you play, the less communication there's gonna be. But like usually, you can also like help a lot. If like one squad is dying somewhere, you point that out and stuff like that. And then with communication, usually the best thing is to like set up pushes, like say I'm gonna get my tank here and flank 10 and move my infantry through here. And at the same time that like your friend says, okay, I'm gonna go this way and that way. So that's like setting up a much larger assault.
TüME.
Yeah, I think communication is really important part. I have friends which I play, like for example Von Asten. We never used really any Discord or like, and Chino is other one I play with a lot. We use sometimes, but not every time. But it still works because we pretty much know what we are doing. But the small things during the game, we kind of miss those. Like you decide to go after some like tank or rocket artillery, anything. It's you're only at that point you can't really start to write here that hey dude I'm going after this tank. That's something you can't do. Your only chance pretty much is that you ping on the map and other has to realize that what you're doing. So I think those small things with Talisman, of course, because we speak the same language, that's also good. But those small things gives a little bit more boost to make us together better than with anybody else.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, most people have said that communication is important. I'm going to interview Nagano and Scotch, and I'm really looking forward what their answer will be, because I know they're not using voice communication, and they are at the moment seed number 1 in the tournament. So it's going to be interesting what their answer will be. But every team said like, yeah, communication is important and better than that. But Talisman, you were the first one who said like when you play as a team for so long, you kind of know exactly what the other is going to do. That's kind of interesting that you're the first one who said that. I was waiting for that sentence a couple of times, and you were the first one who said it. Because I think that's also true that in the matter you're just like you kind of know what your partner is. You maybe even know his weaknesses. So I guess that's something what a good team is about. Also knowing your partner. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would like to ask you as well, what do you think is going to be the future of RTS games? Many people say RTS is dead. The old school RTS games at least. What is your opinion about that?
I'd say StarCraft at least isn't gonna die, like probably ever, because it's set up so strongly in Korea and other countries around that, and it's making a comeback. Like the Brood War Remastered had like more views on Twitch compared to Overwatch at one point, so that was like really surprising. And I think like StarCraft at least is gonna keep on going. And the thing with RTS is you pretty much have to go for like a little bit different of a game, like Company of Heroes 2 is like compared to StarCraft or stuff like that, because StarCraft is basically the best you're gonna get of that subgenre. So you need to go like Company of Heroes 2 route and bring something new to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think.
TüME?
They're kind of like same game, but there are still so much different games. Like because I think I would like call StarCraft more like a classic RTS, and Company of Heroes is more like a new genre RTS, in my opinion, because they are RTS, but they are still so much different RTS games. But the reason why people would say RTS is dying and why it would be doing that is because I think, well, first of all, mobile games are really popular lately in past few years. But I think the reason for that mobile games are simply easier to learn, so you can like somewhat compete in that game. Or play as you don't. Like in RTS, I played, for example, good example is I played Warcraft 3 for the first time like last summer in internet, and of course I played only versus Smurfs there because there's nobody like new player playing that game anymore, so there's only like Smurf. I lost 20 games and won 1 game. And that 1 game I won because I went to fucking internet and searched for guides for the build order and what you have to do. And that's why I won the 1 game. I lost 20 games, so of course it gets so frustrating that I don't want to keep going and play that game more. But like in mobile games, it's more different, or in first-person shooters usually, because there's usually also there's team with you. So you're never really playing one versus one in mobile or in the first-person shooter. So there's team with you, and it's less likely that you lose a lot games when you play first time in a row. But in RTS, I think it's if you go especially playing one versus one, it's very likely you lose your every single game till like 50 games, until you even have any fucking clue what you have to do in this game. If you haven't played RTS before, of course. So I think the skill gap is so high in RTS that it might get people frustrated, so they don't bother to learn the game, and I would think that's the main reason why RTS is kind of dying.
Yeah, actually, to add to that a little bit, like it's also about the number of players. Like when you go play like Dota 2, or start out Dota 2, you usually like get a friend to play with you at the start, or overall you just you always have teammates. With RTS, the usual game mode is 1 against 1, so that's a tough thing to get into. Like you won't have a friend to help you out or say anything to you unless like he's watching behind you or watching your replays or something. So that's another thing, like why Quake is also not as popular as it used to be, is because it's a 1 against 1 game, and people like to have their friends on their team and not against them.
Okay, cool. I just try to mute down my mic because my birds, one of my birds is just going crazy, sorry.
It's okay.
So, okay, cool. Yeah, future for RTS games is an important question, I would say, for every RTS game fan. We will just have to wait what the future will bring. But I think we all can agree that a mixture of MOBA and RTS is not working. So I just hope that Age of Empires 4 is going to be a success, and I'm just really hoping for Copperfield 3. Since I just think that the whole I would say atmosphere, it's maybe not the right word, but you can kind of know what I mean with the World War II. It's just interesting. Yeah, let's just hope that the future of RTS games is bright.
Yeah, I'm definitely like hoping for. I have huge hopes for the Age of Empires. No matter how some people like to trash down like Relic, but there is so big company behind the Age of Empires that like the Microsoft. So I think the game. I assume the game will be successful, and I'm just curious to see, because I definitely think that Relic is going to make their own things in that game. It's not gonna be like a remake of the Age of Empires 2, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be totally different, but with the old things. So I'm really curious to see what's gonna be. But one thing I'm really disappointed that if it's gonna be the Windows 10 exclusive, I'm really gonna be disappointed about that. I understand the games which are Xbox or PlayStation 4 exclusive, but if you're gonna go with the fucking like Microsoft, like Windows 7 or 10 or fucking 20 exclusive, that's ridiculous. I hope they are not really going to do that on the Age of Empires.
Okay, well, let's hope. Yeah, but I guess that's also like Relic's decision. That's Microsoft's decision. So
Yeah, definitely.
we will see what will bring in the future. Yeah, I would like to ask you the other teams of the tournament. Is there any team where you're like, well, we don't want to really play this team because, like for instance, when Ivan Price said like Prodigy and Luca are not their favorite team. Is there any team you're like, okay, no, it's not about afraid, but it's like they're kind of there might be dangerous for us. Just just curious if there's any team, or is there a team where like saying like, oh yeah, we would like to meet those guys because we want to beat them. Is there anything?
Well, I think we want to beat and play against every team in the tournament. I mean, if it's gonna be bracket style, probably not gonna happen. But we don't have we're not afraid. But definitely, Golden Path 2 is such a strong team and has been. And it's not like they use some kind of cheese or they have own game style. They're just so consistent and so good. There's you have to do something really a good place to win them. Like they're not gonna do a mistake and lose the game because of that. They're pretty much you have to bring something new into the game to win them.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the Scots and not gonna team is the one which we want to play in this tournament against them. Of course, it's most of it's up to us. If we lose on the first round, then we're not gonna play against them. But I definitely hope we're gonna play them and would be best in the finals. And I think what Talisman says, they don't cheese, and you don't win them by cheesing. It's definitely the last tournament we played in the finals versus them. I think it was really great game. I found we had really few mistakes in that game, but we lost the last game in the victory points and couldn't do about it. I found they're really good players and they play together and they don't cheese. So we don't have to worry about that there's some stupid strats which you have to totally think your own strats again. But about other teams, I think the One Aston Crossfire team, that's gonna be tough team also. And I'm curious. I would like to play against Helping Hands and Devem. That's what I said earlier. Top 1 versus 1 players are not necessarily the best 2 versus 2 team, and that's why I really like to play versus those two guys and see how they're gonna do as a team. So those are the most curious
That's a
teams.
big question. Everybody, I think, is curious how both of them are. I've already also asked them in the interview when I interviewed them. I asked them, "Do you guys feel any pressure because a lot of people will watch how you will perform in this tournament?" They said no, They said well, a lot of people will be feel pressured if they have to play against us. And this is something what I just like about this tournament. I think we have really going to have very not emotional, but very. It's kind of I kind of try to to heat up a little bit the teams, to hey, those team there, they said you're easy to beat, So I'm a little bit the little devil behind that, and I'm trying to spice up the tournament. But it's of course for the quality of the tournament is going to be awesome. So many good teams are playing, so I'm absolutely hyped about this. Guys, it would be, from my part of it, the interview. Do you have any last questions, last comments? How did you like the interview? You can also say something about that. First of all, thank you very much for doing this interview.
Was really good interview. I was kind of worried before the interview how hard the questions are for I know how to speak English and understand it, but it's always when you don't speak with your mother language, it's kind of stressful to answer the questions properly. But it was really good. For questions, they weren't hard to answer and was easy to explain myself about what I'm talking. So yeah, I like the interview.
Yeah, I agree with that. It also was really laid back. I felt it more like a podcast style. It wasn't you set up a camera and lighting and you have to stand there and wait. Plenty of my Overwatch interviews, they feel so
Yeah.
stressful. Like you have to really think
Yeah.
about what you say, and you have to
Yeah.
like worry about the lights and the sounds and everything.
Yeah, I try to keep in a little bit of a of a calm and not taking so much serious kind of a atmosphere. Just like I have a friend over just playing PS4 next to me, and I have my birds all the time making noise. It's just my life. People who watch these videos have to learn to live to keep with it, because I'm not going to change that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for joining for this interview, guys. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm super hyped about this tournament, and I hope you guys are enjoying these interviews. And I hope that if you guys still want to play in the tournament, go and sign up for the tournament. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.